Hi dear Geminis, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of November. Can you believe it's already November? I can't. It's hard to believe that it's going to be 2024 in 2 months. It's crazy. So right now, as I'm recording this, we are in the midst of an eclipse season, in between two eclipses. So the energies are intense and hectic. Be patient, you guys. In November, things should be back to normal, more or less. Okay, or at least we'll get used to the new normal, because eclipses always bring changes. So yeah, so November, and also thankfully November is kind of boring. There aren't many activities going on in the skies in November, and I guess that's good news, because it'll allow us to recharge our batteries after the intensity of the eclipses. Yeah, so let's see. At the very beginning of November, we have this series of oppositions between Scorpio and Taurus, mostly. Yeah, so the very first one is the Sun in Scorpio is going to make an opposition to Jupiter in Taurus. So this opposition is happening in your 6th house and 12th house. So something about work and rest. Okay, what else? Spirituality and your enemies. I mean, daily life. Yeah, and since we have Jupiter involved in this aspect, I don't think it's going to be super bad, because Jupiter is a benefic, and whenever it's involved, even in a bad aspect, it still produces not so bad results. Yeah. And this aspect is active for only a day or two, so I wouldn't expect that you will be affected too much by this. And next, on the same day, we have Venus in Virgo making opposition to Neptune in Pisces. Yeah, this one screams delusional, okay? Or like rose-tinted glasses, because Neptune is the planet of, I don't know, illusions. You can say delusions. I don't know, it's a very foggy, nebulous planet. And Venus, as you know, it rules love. So on that day, we might be so in love that we ignore all the red flags. Yeah, it can be a great day to be delusional. And thankfully, this is a temporary transit. It's active for only a day or two. Okay. Next, on November 4th, we have Scorpio Mercury making an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. Now, this aspect screams flashes of brilliance, because Mercury, as you know, it's our thoughts, and Uranus is like sudden things. So when you combine these two, you have sudden thoughts, sudden ideas, flashes of brilliance. Since this is an opposition, which is considered a tense aspect, it might be that you will be forced to have sudden conversation, you will be forced to face something, address something. Yeah, it's possible. And for you Geminis, this is happening in your 6th house and 12th house again. So work and rest, work and isolation behind the scenes, those two things involved in this opposition. And on the same day, as this opposition is happening, Saturn is going to station direct on the 0th degree of Pisces. And for you, dear Geminis, this is your 10th house. 10th house is a house of Saturn, so Saturn feels comfortable there. And so if you have experienced the delays, frustrations in regards to work since June, this means, this stationing direct means that things will start moving forward again, slowly but surely. Yes, until next June, so this is good news. And so think of Saturn as this inspector. Think of astrological houses as branches of a big company, and whenever Saturn visits that area, that house, it feels like some manager coming from the headquarters to your branch and checking everything, making sure that everyone is doing their job, firing those who are not working well, and rewarding those who are doing well. So Saturn is that kind of planet. He is strict, but at the same time he's fair. So now he's in your career house, Gemini. So in regards to your career, he's gonna kind of like bring order to your career, your social status in the next 2 years. Yeah, so um, you might achieve long-term goals if you have those, if you have been working on those. Even though in the beginning it might feel a bit frustrating, but like towards the end of this transit, you are going to make significant progress towards your goals. Okay. And another thing I need to mention is, since Pisces is a mutable sign, it means that this Saturn in Pisces is going to be making a square aspect to all the planets that you have in Gemini. It can feel frustrating, but Saturn is rewarding if you are willing to work with him. Okay. Next, on November 5th, we have the last quarter moon in Leo. So that means we are 1 week away from a new moon, and that means it's not a good time to start anything new after November 5th. Use that time to wrap things up that started with the previous new moon. It's a great time to get ready for the next new moon, okay? The events that will come with the next new moon. So recharge your batteries. Don't feel guilty if you don't feel like doing anything after November 5th. And so next, on November 8th, Venus is going to enter Libra, your 5th house. If you remember, before this, Venus was in Virgo, and Venus hates being in Virgo. It was in your 4th house. So you've been probably like making your home more pleasant, decorating, yeah, reorganizing. But now it's going to enter your 5th house. So now you will want to bring your romance partners to that newly decorated place, so to speak. And so yeah, like Venus in Libra, your 5th house, this screams like romance, flirtation. Great time, dear Geminis. So all of November until like December, like early December, it's a great time for romance for you guys. On November 10th, Mercury is going to enter Sagittarius. That means your 7th house. Mercury usually sprints through signs. It spends only like 18 days in each sign. So starting from November 10th will be a great time to have important conversations with your partner. Yeah, like romance, sweet nothings, flirtations, compliments, texting with your partner, that kind of energy. But on November 10th, as soon as Mercury enters Sagittarius, it's going to make a square to Saturn in Pisces. And as you know, Saturn is a depressing planet, so November 10th can feel slightly depressing. So, or like, it can also feel this way. You want to have a conversation with your partner, but your partner is not in the mood. Like, so that's Saturn energy, like some sort of obstacle. Okay, Saturn is always obstacle. He always requires you to work things like out, like, yeah, to overcome obstacles. Next, on November 11th, Mars in Scorpio is going to make an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. So again, you have this opposition in your 6th house and 12th house. So Geminis, for you guys, a lot of action is going on in your work house and your isolated house. Work and isolation, like the most private part of your chart. So I feel like, yeah, like the 6th house. 6th house is a house of co-workers, daily routine, and pets. So those themes might require a lot of attention. And since we have that Uranus involved, so there might be like surprises. Like suddenly you might have to take your pet to the vet, or there might be some sudden project at work that you need to work on as soon as possible. Or there might be a conflict at work with a coworker, or like they might irritate you or something like that. Yeah, so November seems to give off that energy because of those oppositions to Uranus and Jupiter in your 12th house. Next, so what did I mention? Like, yeah, on November 13th, we have a new moon in Scorpio. Yay! And it's gonna be on the 20th degree of Scorpio. So this new moon is going to make an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. So again, this new moon is happening in your sixth house. Sixth house, again, as I just mentioned, your routine, co-workers, health, pets. Yeah, this would be a great time to do the annual checkup at the hospital, dear Geminis. If you are planning to do those things, I would say schedule it around November 13th. Okay, mid-November would be great for that. And if you guys are waiting for announcement decisions, um, I would say it will come around this time as well. Around November 13th. 4 days, plus or minus. And what else I need to mention is this is the first new moon after the solar eclipse in Libra. And so if nothing really happened to you in October, uh, the events associated with that Libra solar eclipse might play out around this new moon, because that can happen sometimes. So the eclipse is here, right? And the events associated with it can happen either a month before, a month after. So if you feel like, oh, you guys said like big changes will happen to me in October, but nothing happened, well, I would say like pay attention. Maybe the changes will happen around this new moon. Okay. Yeah, and so Geminis, this is your sixth house. So I guess maybe you'll get a new project at work. Maybe there will be a new coworker at work. Maybe a new manager will come. I don't know. Or maybe you will hire someone, because sixth house is a house of employees, service providers. Maybe you'll feel like, oh, I don't have time to do all the cleaning at home, and you hire someone who will do the cleaning for you on weekends, once a week or like once a month at least. So it would be a great time for that. Okay, this new moon. And the thing is, this new moon is going to make an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. So there will be some sort of like element of unexpectedness, element of surprise around this new moon. Okay, and the surprises aren't always bad. And Geminis, you guys are very flexible, very adaptable, so you will deal with whatever surprises that Uranus throws very gracefully. I'm sure of that. Next, so after this new moon, not much is going to happen, uh, except for that conjunction of Sun and Mars in Scorpio. And so this conjunction is happening in your sixth house. So Geminis, I don't know what's going on in your work, but like a lot of activity seems to be going on in your daily routine or work. Okay, for some it might be health or your pets, but this conjunction of Sun and Mars marks the beginning of a new cycle, because Sun and Mars conjunctions don't happen very often. They happen once every year and a half. Okay, and especially not in Scorpio. This conjunction doesn't happen in Scorpio a lot. Like it's true for all signs, but yeah, Mars rules Scorpio, so this is like especially significant. So some new cycle around your work, okay, around your routine. I don't know what that might be, but you'll see. Time will show. What else? So on November 22nd, the Sun is going to enter Sagittarius. Finally, all of that focus from your routine, co-workers, pets, health is going to start shifting towards relationships. Okay, and so the Sun is going to enter Sagittarius, and then shortly after, 2 days after that, Mars is going to enter Sagittarius. So as you can see, the stars, the planets will start crowding in your relationship house. So Mars and Sun, they illuminate. Mars brings action. So your relationships will be more active. Like, I don't know, you might, if you are single, you might go on dates more often during this period. Or you might get more attention from men, because Mars, he likes making the first move. So people will be asking you out more. Yeah, maybe people will be confessing more to you. Or on dating websites, like you'll be getting more dates. Yeah, because Mars is energizer, it activates things. And then what else? So on November 27th, we have a full moon in Gemini. Yay, Geminis, your full moon. So we get only one full moon every year in our sign, so this is important. And full moons are the times of culminations, illuminations. And this is your first house. So whatever that you've been working on since new moon in Gemini in June, you will start seeing results. Okay, around this full moon, you will achieve the results. If you set intentions around the new moon in Gemini back in June, I would say try to check to see if you managed to manifest all those things, if you managed to achieve all the goals you set for yourself. Okay, and so the moon will be in your first house and the sun will be in your seventh house. So the end of November is very much relationship oriented for you guys. So some Geminis, it will be the time when you might get married or when you might get engaged, especially because this is the first full moon after the lunar eclipse in Taurus in October. And again, remember I mentioned for the new moon that the events associated with the Libra solar eclipse, right, they might play out like a month after. Same thing for the full moon. So if nothing really happened around the Taurus full moon on October 28th, it might play out around this time, okay, at the end of November. And another thing about this full moon is that so after this, the routine should be back to normal. Okay, it means the peak of the eclipse intensity and all of that stuff will be over. Okay, and so this is great news. And so this is it for November, dear Geminis. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Okay. And I hope to see you guys in December. And remember that I offer readings, astrology readings, birth chart readings, astrocartography, synastry, compatibility readings like transits. Yeah, so if you're interested, please leave a comment or email me. Okay, and I'll see you guys in December. Thank you for watching.